Well, what's it like to revisit a character, Phil, after a 2-year hiatus? Did you have new discoveries? Did you find that it was a different approach because you had already done that character before?
The way you said that. Sean Penn came to our school. Do you know what I'm saying?
I stole this question from you.
Really?
This is your question.
That's so crazy.
From the actor's school.
I said that exact same question.
It's the exact. All I did was change the date because it was a 2-year hiatus when you played Phil.
It was 10 years.
And it was 10 years. Here it is.
Second-year actor. My question is regarding Hurley Burley. What was it like to revisit a character, Eddie, after a 10-year hiatus? Did you have new discoveries? Did you find that it was a different approach because you had already done this character before?
I didn't know that you were saying it. I was like, wait a second.
I was wondering if you would remember asking him that question. Do you remember what he said?
He said something along the lines of that it was interesting to do it and stuff like that. But I'd seen him since, and his daughter, I guess, saw that and said, and so he knew that I'd asked him a question, so we were talking about that. But that's so crazy. Yeah, you said hiatus. I was like, because I remember when I asked that question, is that a weird thing to say a 10-year hiatus? It was just... Yeah.
Well, I felt weird saying a 2-year hiatus, but what was it like playing Phil after a 2-year hiatus?
Awesome. I loved it. And there was something about, having done, I did the A-Team in between then and this movie Limitless, and and a lot of stuff happened in my life. So, that informs you as an actor. So it was really interesting to then play Phil again, because I think Phil's changed a little bit. I think he's even more grounded in this one. And besides that, I just love playing Phil. He's the coolest guy in my mind. Like, I just realized that. I just love him.
You don't want Phil to stop?
No. No, I'd love to do a third one if this one's a success. Yeah, I would. First of all, just because Todd Phillips is the greatest comedic director. He's the greatest. So I would do basically anything he says.
Well, you answer that as if you had been on the actor school studio. And in fact, you did return after being in a number of episodes as a student.
Right.
I have to say, this has got to be this is probably the most exciting episode ever. James Lipton got so emotional when you went back to be his guest, and he had this introduction for you. This introduction for you.
This is when you do your
Lipton impression. Does this happen in films?
All the time.
But we don't have a live audience. When you give a line and then nothing happens.
Kills all
in a live
momentum.
audience. So what do you do as an actor when that happens?
Flail like we are.
Okay, here it is.
Proud to welcome from the class of 2000, our graduate, Bradley Cooper.
I don't think we've ever seen James Lipton so emotional about it. Yes, he said that people had been coming up to him for years saying, who are you most excited to interview? And he said, the person that graduates from my school that I started and comes up here on this stage. And that is you. What did that feel like?
I was reluctant to do it because I felt that people would laugh at the fact that I was on there, because there'd be cards like that for 2 hours. There'd be no blue cards. The interview would take 10 minutes. But and then I realized, you know what? The hell with it. That's just my own BS. The fact is, the whole program is set up. There's students in the classroom, and do I have anything to impart to them? I thought if I was in the audience and there was a guy on there who was in my seat 10 years ago, I would love to hear from him. So I said, you know what? Okay, I'll do it. And I'm so glad that I did, because it was incredible. And my parents were there, and all of my friends who I went to school with were there in the audience. And it's a much longer show that they cut down, but it became it wasn't even an interview anymore. Everybody was talking from the audience. It was really wonderful.
Really like a homecoming.
It really was in a lot of ways, and very emotional too. Yeah.
One of the most exciting moments was when he asked your mom, "Do you remember what I told you about your son when he was here in school?"
That's right. Yeah.
And she said, "Yeah, you told me he was going all the way."
Right.
And then he said, "Yes," and I was right.
Oh, Lipton.
Hey, will you stick around? We want to have some fun with you after the break.
Yeah,
all right, more with Bradley Cooper when we come right back.